Hi there, this is Rob at Reason101.net, and I'm here for part 3 of an installment on how to create back and front mixes. And also, now that we've done it left and right, we basically have created a 4-corner mix in which you have the front left mix, the front right mix, the back left, and the back right. So a few things that we're going to clean up a little bit. First off, on the line mixer for these various effects, it got a little bit too strong. And if you, what's going to happen is sometimes there will be a little bit of clipping. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reduce these down to probably about I don't know, 85, 86, around that. And this way it'll even things out a little bit. It won't be too overpowering. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, select the mixer, the line mixer, and I'm going to create a maximizer. And let's turn it around. Let's see how we're going to route this. Okay, take the master outs from the line mixer and send them to the audio outputs of the maximizer. And then take the master out and send it to the input. So it's going to go from the master into the maximizer and then back out. And what we're going to do is we're just going to reduce the input by about 4.5 or so. Reduce the input and the output. I'm going to give it a little bit of a soft clip, and this way everything is a little bit more smoother. Let's just reset these. Okay, so now it's a little bit smoother. There's a little bit more give. It's not so overpowering. It's a little bit softer. So nice enough. Now the next thing that we're going to do, we have a pretty good control over the actual mixes of the front and the back and the left and the right. But let's say we want to automate a few things for the phasers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the phasers, and obviously we have no more rotaries left up here. We just have the buttons. That's not really going to give us what we want. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to create a new combinator. Again, select those phasers, hold down your shift key, and I'm going to move them into another combinator underneath. Now you're going to see the external routing symbol pop up. And that's going to pop up for both. What this means is, since we're now routing things outside from one combinator to another, you can't just save these patches and expect the routings to make sense. What you're going to have to do is save the whole thing as an RNS file, a reason file, and that way it'll preserve these connections between these two combinators. So just keep that in the back of your mind when you're saving this. But the benefit here is that this gives you the ability to play around with some of the different functions that are on the phasers, and you can map this to your MIDI controller, and then you can kind of play around with it to your heart's content. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play around with the front. Let's see, what do we want to play with? Let's do the front frequency and the width. And we'll do the same thing for the back frequency and width on the second rotary. So open up your programmer. For your front, let's take rotary 1 and let's adjust the frequency. We're not going to send it all the way high, but we're going to do like 14 to 99, something like that sounds good. For the front right, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it in reverse. We're going to go basically from a high minimum value to a low maximum value. So these two are essentially reversing each other. Now the other thing I'm going to do is for rotary 1, I'm going to adjust the width, and I'm going to go 0 to about 100. And the same thing for the front right. I'm going to select rotary 1, select the width, but this time I'm going to go from 100 down to 0. I think that's what we did. Yeah. Okay, so the same thing, we're going to just quickly do the same thing. Rotary 2, it's going to be our frequency. We're going to go 21 to about 100. We're also going to do the width, and that's going to be 0 to about 100. And same thing here, except we're going to reverse them. It's going to be about 100 down to about 20 or so, 20 or 30. And the width is going to be the same thing. Width is going to be high value for the minimum and low value for the maximum. Okay, so now when we're playing this, and I have to select my Thor. Okay, so now when we're playing, you can sweep between the frequencies. And that just gives a little bit more dynamics to your sound. So now that's that you've got it set up in 2 different combinators. It's basically the sky's the limit with what you want to do with this. This is just one example of how you can play with your front, your back, your left, your right, and also have a couple of different modulations that you can apply to those effects. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, come visit me at reason101.net, and hopefully we'll give you some more tips and tricks to come. Thanks a lot, and have a good night.